Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Pull the Trigger. I'm your host, Sandra Gonzalez. I am a retired Marine officer turned life coach speaker, and I help high caliber entrepreneurs kick self-doubt to the curb and cultivate sexy confidence so they can step into any room and stand out as a leader. Now, today you're in for a treat. My amazing, gorgeous guest, Liesa Euton. Oh my goodness. Now, this gorgeous goddess is not only my friend, but she's my sister that I personally had the honor of meeting in Dubai and getting to know. Now, Liesa is an American Dutch French entrepreneur, again, who I met while I was living in Dubai. Now, she is not only a keynote speaker, she's a moderator for events and conferences, and she is dedicated to really transforming people's lives, specifically their mindset. And I know she's transformed my life because anytime I deal with this incredible woman, she's so positive. And let me tell you, it's very contagious. Her attitude is infectious. So in Dubai, we met again, and I had the honor of running two of the Dubai women's runs. I think it was 2015, 2016, but Liesa was the co-founder, the race director for the women's run, I believe from 2010 to 2018. Now, this woman, I mean, I can go on and on. She's very accomplished, having spent 23 years in hospitality, right? She was the host, right, of The People's Voice, a radio talk show. And currently, she serves as a Rotarian for the Rotary Club in Dubai. Liesa, welcome. What else did I miss? Please introduce yourself, lovely.
My sister, so good to see you and help you put the word out to everybody out there.
Thank you, love.
Yes. And according to what you missed, my goodness, how long do we have? But it's not about that. It's not about the titles and all the presidencies and the boards of directors. It's about how you can make your life every day and live the most. And I wanted to leave a legacy. So when you said about Dutch and French, yes, my mother is from the French Antilles, which is Saint Martin. I think everybody knows. If any Europeans and Americans know, it's very close to 3.5 hours from New York, 2.5 from Miami in the Caribbean. My father's from Aruba. He's from the Dutch Antilles. And they actually instilled in us, we bring you to here. You have to bring yourself the rest of the way. They're two of the most switched on smart people I know. And I got a lot of my ground basis from them, but I did get a lot from hard knocks in life also. You learn. You learn to pick up the pieces and keep going. And I think I really hit my stride. You reach a knowing. There's a book by Gail Sheehy called Passages, and it talks about the different segments in your life, 20s to 30s, 30s to 40s, 40s to 50s, what you think in the transition in between. And I think I really hit my stride about the knowing at 33. And at that time, I was running for a political office for a seat in Parliament, for Senate, actually. And I had done many things, but I didn't realize there was more coming, or the big plan, what my destiny was. I enjoyed everything. People say, why are you doing all this? You're on so many boards. But I really, on such a small island as St. Martin, I'm educated in New York. I guess you can hear from my accent and my voice. But at 25, I wanted to go back to St. Martin and really make my life there. And in 20 years, I'm so blessed and grateful to say, yeah, it sounds crazy, but I did. I sat on 29 boards of directors, radio talk show, news, dressage riding in between, 3 restaurants, married 3 restaurants. And yeah, I don't have children, but it was a choice for me because I enjoyed what I was doing. I really wanted to commit fully to the business life. And yeah, I'm going to go on and on from there. But I sat on many, from the phone company, Chamber of Commerce, Hotel Association,
Yes.
Timeshare Association. I opened a shelter for women and children of domestic violence. I was chosen actually for that because they're like, you're a golden girl. Anything you do, you get done. You have to do it. It was the hardest thing I had to do, but it
Mm,
was the most rewarding. And things happened to open that shelter very serendipitously. Because, I know we'll talk about this, but I really believe we're all here to serve. And
mm.
when you serve, so many good things just come for you, but you have to do it just with an open heart and not to expect anything in return. And when you do that, miracles just happen because we're
Oh,
all here to serve and give back. You know what I always say, my darling sister Sandra, is if you want to open a business, help somebody else open theirs. It's
yes.
the law of the universe. It works. It works. I'm telling you, it works. It's amazing. We stress too much in life. My dog certainly isn't stressing for water and food, and the plants in your window are not stressing for water, but we stress too much because we think too much.
Yes.
Sometimes, like Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, just be in the present, be in the present moment. There's so many clues, passing us every day, but some of us are not even aware because we're on the radio, we're on the phone. We're not just, what I like to do? Just drive. And you ever drive in the car, all of you, you driving that, oh my God, how did I get here? Because you're
Yeah,
like in a daze, but you're
exactly.
on remote control. This is meditation. This is a form of just being in the present, thinking. I always turn the radio off when I just want to think and drive because your mind just goes to places you never even thought of, you
Mm,
know? I have my daily routine. I know
beautiful.
you're going to ask me that just now, but we'll get to that of things that I do.
I love that. Yes, Lisa. And, this is one of the many reasons. I mean, just because I can feel when I'm in your presence, or, the times that I've been, that we were able to spend in Dubai. And then most recently when I went to visit, and, you made this amazing dinner for me. Thank you so much. I felt like
Food
royalty.
is love, right? Food
Yeah.
is love. I love having people over and I love dinner parties.
But you take it over the top.
Everybody says
You're
that.
deliver. Like I'm like I felt like royalty in your home,
Thank you.
and it was such a beautiful evening well spent. As the view from your like suite, your condo, I was like, oh my gosh, you have this view every day of Dubai.
Yeah, thank you, God. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. I'm right in front of the world's tallest building with the lights in the city and in front of water and a marina. But, with that comes I don't want to say hard work. I don't work hard anymore. I work smart. There's a
Yeah.
difference now that I've learned from when I was younger. I look younger now than I did when I was in my 30s because I was just hustling and I wasn't enjoying. Now I take time to fill my cup because I always tell people when I'm on stage and I'm at events, if you don't fill your cup, you can't fill somebody else's. We have a Caribbean thing. Sorry, I'm going to say it like this. You go,
I love it.
the
Please.
stripping. Who she think she is? She full of herself, like this. Yes, I'm full of myself. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not full, I can't fill your cup.
Ah,
So we must take time to refill, to regenerate, take a massage. Yesterday was Wednesday, and it
huh?
happened just like that. A friend called me over to check. She lost a ring. We wound up having a glass of wine. I don't drink much. We in the middle of the afternoon. It was wonderful. And then someone else called me. I wound up having dinner with them. It was all impromptu. But the days fill and go fast. But I enjoy. I work hard. When I say hard, smart. But
Yeah.
then I enjoy the moments I have, like you coming to dinner, my darling. If you can enjoy, like I said to a client yesterday, if you're going to be working so hard and you can enjoy quality time with a good friend
Mm,
and me having linen napkins for you and champagne glasses and crystal and silver, why not? I'm not going to put paper plates and paper cups. I
yes.
want you to enjoy our time together and make it quality time. I'm
Ah,
not saying you have to go and buy Baccarat and Hermes, but a nice glass plate, a dish. I enjoy cooking a meal and sharing a meal with friends. And yes, appetizer, entree, dessert, cheese plate, everything because we're here to break bread and you have the best conversations when you sit around with friends and
yes.
enjoy the meal. I never have more than 8 at my table because I want good conversation. And I always make sure, just a tip for everyone, invite people to your table that you can learn something from and you can grow. And I always say, if you're the smartest one in your group, it's time to get a new group.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But so you did just that, when I went over to your home, you made me uh I felt at peace. I felt, very important because you were present and had dedicated this time, effort, this delicious meal that made
Thank you.
me feel so very special. So immediately I felt like, oh my goodness, I'm home. This woman
Thank you.
loves me. You're so very hospitable, and it's very not only generous but genuine.
Yes. I listen, I want to live an authentic life. And I think that everyone should, be authentic. I don't want to waste time not being authentic. And I wouldn't want to be with someone and not be myself.
Yeah.
We're ladies here, so I'm going to talk straight. And a lot of us strong women, we struggle to find the right partner for our life. I was married. I got married very late, and I actually married. I wasn't in love, but I loved him. But I thought it was good for my image because I was living on a small island. And he's really, I have to say, I can't say anything but very, very charming, from Argentina, 2 meters tall, handsome, you know. But I knew the day we were going to get married, I felt it that day that it wasn't the right thing, but I said, I'm going to give it a try,
Wow.
and my cousin, but she's family and she's very spiritual. And she told me, mommy, you don't need to do this. This is not for you. Marriage is not for everyone. You are strong. She said, but if you want to try it, okay, you try it. And after 2 years, I told him I said, this is not for me. I enjoy life, but I don't need a piece of paper to, and a ring to say I'm with someone. For me, okay, this is man-made, right? Because animals don't do this. And I know this is different. We have laws and people have children, etc. In my perfect world, it would be 7 years. And if you decide you want to stay with that person, there's a contract. I will take care of my children. Because people grow in and out of love. And a lot of people don't water the garden to keep the relationship going. And
Exactly.
people want different things at different times in their life. I have a couple I'm working with now because I do a lot of mentoring, and I took beautiful girl, successful interior design business. Her husband is very successful real estate, but they're two different cultures. And I told them, you both brought baggage to the relationship. I said, but y'all didn't open the suitcases to see what's inside,
Ooh.
So they're now trying to work at it after 3 kids, but they
Yeah.
had to do that before. It's harder now because they're set in their ways. He expects something and she expects it, but they didn't discuss it before.
Mm.
So one of the things I do, okay, I'm single. I'm happy to say, I'm not desperate. I have a lot of girls that are my age. I
Yes.
gotta find a man. I gotta find, but
Yes.
finding a man is not going to make you happy. You have to be happy for yourself.
Absolutely.
This is the one of the things. And I'll tell everybody how I write it down when I journal, because I really believe in journaling. And you were going to ask me, I know one of the things that I do. Firstly, gratitude. Every day I say what I'm grateful for. There are so many, what I call my 10 top 10 laws of success and abundance. First thing is gratitude, because the switch on, the switch to turn on everything starting to flow to you is being gracious. And I think every morning when I wake up and when I go to bed, and even like looking at the view, I wish I could just take the camera and show you, but
Yes.
I say thank you that I even had the presence of then. Everybody said you were so successful on your island. Where were you going? But I felt like my soul was uneasy and I wanted to do something else and go somewhere else. I feel in 20 years I was in St. Martin, I did everything I came to do. Because
Mm.
people say to me, well, you had your house on the beach and you had your 3 cars in the driveway and your house was facing St. Bart's. And yeah, but I felt uneasy and I felt incomplete. I felt I needed to do more. And I just made a wish. Honestly, I said, show me where to go, show me what to do, show me what to say and to who. And I said, give me a miracle. And tell me what I was thinking Greece. I was thinking Europe. Why? I have American passport. I have European passport because of my parents, but I can go anywhere. But silly serendipitous things, the book is coming that said, for me, that said Dubai, crazy things that nobody would think of, but I was present in the moment to see
Mm.
the clues coming at me. And it's now 14 years. So
Wow.
gratitude is the first one for me. I
Yes.
do a lot of scripting and journaling. So this is the point about the men. I always write down. I used to write something else, but now you see, when you grow older, you become more, I don't want to say knowledgeable in the knowing, the noon
Yes.
of life. Gail
Yes.
Sheehy calls it your noon of life. So I write now. I'm so happy and grateful that, because you have to write like it happened already, right? And I meet many people. I'm in business. I meet many, many men, many, 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 but I'm picky, and I know what I want. So I always write, I'm so happy and grateful now that I found my perfect match, that is financially, mentally, emotionally available to me.
Ooh,
And he's worked on himself. I want somebody that's done the work, because I
absolutely.
don't want to make anybody my project.
Exactly, Lisa. And I love that you bring this up because I happen to be in the same place where, after having been married to my
Both
ex,
of us.
which you met as well, my ex for
I
15,
know him. Yes.
went went through the divorce, but I feel I'm in that same place where I'm not going to rush anything. I'm happy with
Yes.
the person that I've become. I continue to grow, and it's finding that peace within. And I think it comes with this ability to learn to lubricate our minds and our hearts with peace. So having said that, Lisa, I
Mhm.
know you said one of your top three secrets for living an abundant life is gratitude. What
Yes.
two other secrets can you share with the high caliber entrepreneurs that are watching? Because this is what's going to
Yes.
help them, pull the trigger, be more strategic, take action, and like you said, be present in the moment.
Yes, yes. The one thing I want to add to that, with the gratitude, first of all, is to let everybody know, everything is energy. Everything vibrates on a particular frequency. So let's put it into layman terms so everybody understands what I'm saying. The table, the chair, your energy, your everything around you vibrates on a different frequency. So let's say you're on a cruise boat, or let's do better, those old radios that had the two knobs, those, or in your car, the old cars that you had to turn in to get the radio signal. Same
Yeah.
thing. Same thing.
Mm.
So you need to tune in yourself to the right frequency to have what you want come to you. It's that easy. And people are like, oh, it can't be. It's that easy. You
Yeah.
attract whatever you're in harmony with,
Ah,
whatever you're on the same frequency with. It's the bottom line. Let's take an example. Get up one morning and maybe, oh, it's going to be a terrible day. Bam, you hit your foot on the bed. You maybe trip. Maybe you're on the road and somebody almost cuts you off and you start screaming. Well, you set that energy out already, right? So
yeah.
everything that day is going to be like that. So I like to swoosh that over the back, forget about that, and move on. I don't want to talk about anybody unless it's good. I don't
Mm.
want to bring any negative vibrations. I don't even want to talk bad about myself. The one thing ladies have, all of us do this, including me.
Yes.
You have on a dress and someone comes up to you and say, oh my God, that's beautiful. And they go, well, I had it in the closet this long. Just say thank you.
Yes.
We all do it. It's
Yeah.
like this DNA for all women that we just don't know how to say thank you. Like,
Uh,
well, it was in the closet. Are you sure it looks okay? Oh, but I just threw it on 2 minutes. I don't know. Do you think the belt? So we have this thing. I think it's in all women. Just say thank you. I do this now to friends or people that I say, you look amazing. Oh, you think so? I said, just say thank you. Just
yeah.
say thank you. We don't accept. So energy, everything you put out, you get back. Everything. So like I said, if you're starting a business, help somebody start theirs. You
Uh,
know, this is how fast you put out the rubber band is how fast it comes back, you
uh,
know? So gratitude, as I said, is number one. And I'm actually putting on my glasses. Forgive me, because I did
or
prepare some things because I wanted to get the point across to you. The one thing the next thing I think is so important is really be authentic in the presence of who you truly are.
mm,
Step into your purpose. What
mm,
makes you you? And when I say that, for instance, I had a client today that told me she's studying internal medicine. And I said, great, that's wonderful. And I said, if that's your purpose, she said, no, it's not. I said, but then why are you doing it? Because
mhm.
I think it's a stepping stone to make money till I get to my purpose. And I said, no, what's your purpose? She said, I really love dermatology. but it's so hard to get into. I said, no, your belief is that it's hard. I said, but you could be the best dermatologist. I said, do you think Burger King is worried about McDonald's?
Ooh.
Right? Do you think Starbucks is worried about Costa Coffee or
Mm,
Tim Hortons? No,
no.
no. I said, put that out of your mind. Who told you it's difficult? Well, I see and I
Mm,
see it. I said, stop. If you feel you don't want to disappoint your parents and go into internal medicine, fine. But if that's not for you and that's not what you want, and
mm,
you'll never be happy. Be your authentic self. If I can give you another example, I have another client who has psoriasis
mm,
all over his body, and he's local. He's married, but he was put in an arranged marriage,
mhm,
and we're in an Arabic culture, so his second wife is American, and she's cool. She's a casting director for movies. She does big movies, and she was telling me the other day at lunch. I had her over. And she's a friend 14 years, and she said he has psoriasis. But before I knew the story, so I said, "Well, what's the family issue? What's the issue in his mind?" And she just looked at me. So how do you know that? Your mind, the language of your mind is your body. So
yeah,
when something is bothering you, it could be you get stomach pains. It could be you have toothache. You can have, people have cancers and they don't know why. And if I can just say this, that's one of my other points
of
is
course.
forgive. Forgive. One
Uh,
of my top 10. Forgive people. Move on. Forget it. I know you had a very turbulent divorce. Mine wasn't as turbulent, but there's a lot of drama in the end. Forgive and move on. When you don't forgive, this causes an
yeah,
upset in your body. Your cells get all over
absolutely.
the place. Forgive. And people say, well, I can't forgive. He was mean to me. Who cares? Move on because we have other things to do in this life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we're drinking the Kool-Aid, right, Lisa? Ultimately, we're
Yes.
drinking that bad Kool-Aid. And I've learned the hard way. And if this pit bull could learn to forgive somebody and truly feel it, anybody else can forgive. But the big piece is the wellness that comes from within as a result of us seeing that person in a different light. Now,
Yes.
and with um my divorce, I realized that there's no loss. He did the best he could with what he had.
And
It
what he knew.
and what he knew, Lisa, and at the end it was a beautiful lesson. So I take that lesson and I move forward. But forgiveness was the biggest piece that I had to experience because my ego fueled me, and that's all I knew. It's one of the things that made me in a way very successful in the military, my masculinity, but it no longer served me at this stage in my life. So
Yes.
thank you for sharing this, Lisa. If I may, you brought up you said when you were part of putting this shelter together, there was,
Hmm.
what challenge was there? What was your biggest lesson in this shelter? And this stood out for me. Can you share a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, so I will tell you the story in the abridged version, and then I realized what I realized while doing this. I was called to the office of the prime minister at the time, and I actually thought he wanted to see me because at the time I was also president of a hotel and tourism association. So, okay, Evelyn, the secretary, called, can you come to the office? I said, when? Tomorrow. Okay, I came to see him. And he said, you have to be the one. I said, to do what? I'm doing a lot of things. To do what? He said, no, we rented a house from the manager of, small island, so we all know each other. We rented from the manager of this bank, big house, and it's been sitting there for 2 years and we haven't done anything. So the Department of Women's and Youth Affairs is paying the rent and the house is just sitting there. And I said, well, what are we supposed to be doing? We're supposed to have a shelter for domestic violence. So my first degree is in psychology and actually got my master's in social work, but specifically my thesis was on domestic violence in the system, in the New York system.
Oh,
So when I went to this meeting, I was very verbal. They invited a lot of women to a meeting in the government building. I was very verbal about them and what they were going to do and what laws they were putting into place or what policy plan for the shelter. And
yes.
so they called me back, said, you have to be the one. And I was like, yeah. Then I was also president of Rotary and I was on the board of the phone company at the supervisory board. So I
Gee.
said, Lord, 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 and running the hotel. So 17 years in the same hotel, but that's not the point. I realized while doing this, first of all, when they told me, I said, okay, I'll take it on, but I had butterflies in my stomach. And we had a hurricane then, and I had to take a rest. I have friends that were on the football team of Monaco and moved to Scotland, and they told me, come and stay with us for a while and recover. So I did all the insurance adjustments on the property and my family properties because we have tenants. And I took a trip, and this is where it all starts, and being in the present and understanding what's going on. Got on the plane, and they have the small TVs back then. And I'm watching a channel, and I hear the channel, a voice tells me, turn to channel 1, and I'm not listening. Turn to channel 1. So, okay, I turn to channel 1. And there's a documentary on a shelter called the St. Jude House in the US. And I just started looking. I said, oh my God, that's what I'm doing, something like this. So I make the stewardess rewind the tape so I can get the phone number. After my vacation, I went home, called this woman, and I said, I would like to speak to you. I have this task and I really don't know where to start. I will give you the hotel stay because I was running a hotel. You could stay in my hotel. And on my board of the hotel association we had divisions, airline, marine, da, da. So I turned to the president of the airlines. She was the head of American Airlines back then. I said, I need a ticket. She said, I'll give it to you. Woman came down, helped me set up the shelter. That's one. Serendipitous things. Second thing, my gym instructor, she's English, and she said, I saw you put an ad in the paper for a director. I will learn everything I need to learn, and I would like to apply. It was the best thing I ever did. We had the most successful 7 years. I can't begin to tell you the programs we put into the school, the education with the police, the nurses, the doctors, good touch, bad touch in the schools. My friend that owns all the Domino's pizzas, we put a label on the boxes because everybody eats pizza, no matter what socioeconomic level you are. Are you being hit? Are you being this? Are you being called a hotline? How I even got the hotline and that paper, went on another vacation to the Hamptons, went into a store called Eileen Fisher to try her outfits, went in the dressing room. I heard a message that said, go in the other one. I was like, there's only 2 dressing rooms. I started to take off my clothes. The message was strong again, go in the other dressing room. I picked up everything, went in the other dressing room, closed the door. There's a sign. Is your time being watched? Are you being called names? Are you being hit? Call the hotline. I took a picture of that and I called that number and I said, who's running this line? I'll never forget. They told me Myra Zarillo. I need to talk to her. She came down, gave her the same offer hotel,
Yeah.
and gave her the airline ticket. She helped me set up the hotline. I'm on the board of the phone company. They gave me 10 phones. So everything you see, I built the platform, and the platform was, which I didn't know then, all those positions I had on my island, president of this, president of that, president. When they announced in the newspaper that I was president, the people said, oh, if it's her, anything she does, she achieves, I'm going to follow. I'm going to help her. I had department stores call me. I had hotels call me that were redoing their hotel. What furniture do you need? We're refurbishing. Come and get it. Fabric guy in Miami. What fabrics do you need for your hotel? I'll come. So the thing is, I never did anything with ego because I wasn't like, oh, I'm president of this. Never, never, never. Because we're all here to serve. But
Yeah.
what helped me was all those positions made the platform of when I opened the shelter. Everybody came out of everywhere to help me.
Wow. It's like you were destined to
Yeah.
do that.
But
So
listen, I had stomach pains just trying to get it started, but I
I,
felt so accomplished.
and I love this story, Lisa, because one of the things that I help my clients personally and professionally is really listen to what's calling at them, not
Yes.
what's clawing at them. And
Yes.
when something is calling at you, it comes from your heart. It's
Yes.
genuine, it's authentic. And in your
Yes.
case, it was in alignment with what you were, and life was setting you up. Now, what's
Yes.
clawing you, it's this ego that's telling you to do something. There's resistance there. So you are definitely a resident expert because I've seen you, how accomplished you are, throughout these years. What would be your recommendation, amiga, for the men and the women watching, for them to really hone in on what's calling at them?
Yes. Okay. So first of all, I knew you, and you asked me this earlier. The one question that everyone, most people Okay, so Dubai's a big social life. People know and know that I do speak at a lot of events. And the one thing they always say to me in a conversation, I love to have intelligent conversation. I just don't want to talk about the food. I want to talk about you, your life, what you're doing. Because I feel like I need to touch a little bit in everybody just to spark a spark to get them thinking. And the one thing everybody says to me is, what is the main thing I need to do, Liesa, to change my life in order to live the way I want to live? They always ask me that. What is the one thing? Listen, first of all, I always tell everybody, not every day for me was perfect. Not every, I still have some days where I feel pity party, because we're a girl. No matter what, there's some days. I'm not going to tell you every day is, yeah, I have my moments. I do have my moments. You have you have moments. We all have a. So first thing I would say, gratitude is my switch on always, because then I remember where I am, how
Mm.
I am. I love my home. I love everything that I've done for it. And I love that. And, do interior decorating also for people's
Oh,
homes. I'm like the queen
Sunny.
of interior decorating on a budget. I'll help anybody get
Yeah,
it together real quick. I
Sunny.
helped somebody in 2 hours the other day. They had to put it on Airbnb. I said, let's go. She said, her head was spinning when I finished everything. She lit all the candles. She said, look at my place. We did this. You shopped in 2 hours and got everything set up in 2 hours. I said, let's go. There's no time to waste. Today's the day. Full action, make action. Don't sit home. There's things to do. When
Ooh,
you die, what do you want to remember? What do you want people to remember of you? You know? And I
yes.
always say this, what do you want people? And I always say this to people when I finish. What's the three things that you can appreciate right now? Because
Ooh,
when you appreciate,
yes,
it brings more of that energy to you.
absolutely. And it raises your frequency, right, Lisa?
Oh my God, talk about frequency and vibration. That's why I say, even if it's your cup of coffee, I had the best cup, I'm saying, best cup of coffee this morning. Thank you, God. Whatever it is. I have a dear friend of 14 years. He's here from Brazil right now. He's the head of acting CEO for Donata Brazil. And he said, darling, come have the cocktail. They have a lounge in the hotel. Come with me to be. I feel so grateful that he made time for me for 2 hours and then I'm coming to you. But this is so small, but we're such dear friends. And he made time in his conference and said, come be with me and let's take the cocktail hour together so we can sit and talk. It was 2 hours, but I'm grateful for that. Even just being grateful. I'm grateful for living where I'm living. I'm grateful I have water. How many people don't have fresh
Oh,
running water or a
great.
good bed to sleep in at night?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Love,
I
love.
knew going through college, I saved until I got that right bed that I wanted.
Mm.
I worked, and I mean, I wish we had more time to tell you where I came from and where I am now and
Oh,
what I had to do, through college. I mean, my parents were offered to pay, but I'm stubborn New York Caribbean girl. And I'm like, I don't want you to pay for anything for me. So first semester they paid, and I did the rest. I worked 3 jobs and I studied on the train and the New York ferry, coming and going 2 hours to do my study time, my head in the books. And I worked every day except a Monday, which was my only day off. Wednesday, and I went to school all day, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 in the morning to 8 at night to make my way. And then Wednesday, Friday, doctor's office, Saturday, Sunday, big grocery store. Started as a bagger, became the manager. But you have to do things to
yes.
get to where you want to be. You can't just sit down and think it's going to come to me. Help
Exactly.
yourself. You know,
Absolutely. I
we say the Lord helps those who help themselves. Help yourself. He'll guide you the rest of the
absolutely.
way.
And I'm glad you bring this up, Lisa, because I've there comes a point where you have to help yourself. You have to be your number one cheerleader. And it's one of the many things, again, I help women and men understand. You have to be your number one cheerleader. And this really stems from your self worth. So,
Yes.
someone who's having troubles with really acknowledging their self worth or understand, somebody else might be like, oh my God, you're so inspirational. But yet you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm stuck. Or it's that mindset, that, as is already defeating them, so to speak, because they
Yes.
see themselves one way when everybody else is telling them, no, you got what it takes. So,
Yes.
what is, one or two ways this person can reinforce, like can strengthen their self worth so they can be their number one cheerleader?
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the self-worth. There is no book to teach you to be a mom or a dad. And a
Thank
lot of us have limiting beliefs from family, from culture, from our society, from our teachers, from friends when we were bullied. So this feeling of unworthiness is inside of us sometimes, which is sad because if I had a child, believe me, every day I would tell my child, you are the best, and whatever you decide to do, you can do it. Because really, it is our birthright that we are in this universe to
yeah.
be abundant and to be loved. It is our birthright. It is our birthright. I don't know how to tell people there is no reason for you to lack. You know, they had a saying years ago in the slavery, don't educate the slaves. Why? Because if the slaves knew that they can do anything they put their mind to, they would overpower the slave masters, right? So don't educate the slaves. They didn't want to. So I'm educating everybody today. It is your birthright. And those anybody that feels down right now, please look in that mirror and look in your eye. The eyes are the window to the soul, and say, I am beautiful. You know, whoever put you down and made you feel less. I had that. I'll never forget. I think I was 15, 16, maybe
Uh-huh.
16. And I remember getting off the bus in New York. Went to all girls Catholic school, getting off the bus to go home, and this guy jumped off in front of me and he looked at me and he said, you are so ugly, you know?
What?
And yeah, she's ugly, like that. And it didn't, okay, that's his choice. And you know what I did? I had braces at the time. We all look different, we grow up and whatever. But imagine if that did affect me. It didn't affect me crazily, but there are some people that hurts them inside and
Yes.
they're bullied every day. And if people only realize how we hurt each other's feelings,
Right.
that's anyone that I meet, woman, child. I live in a very tall building here. Everybody knows me and the dog because I won't stop 1 minute to give anybody a compliment. We are all from each other. We're
Yeah,
all part of each other. We're
exactly.
all here from the source. I don't care if you want to call it Buddha, Allah, God, whatever religion you are, there's a source and there's a vortex. We're all from one thing. We all came here and we're all connected to each other. I can't put another person down.
I love
How?
that.
We're
Lo-
not here to judge people. We are here to give and serve each other. When you serve, the abundance comes. So, speaking about worthiness, I want people to realize and maybe write down affirmations. I always say, I am, because I am is God is the strongest, or whatever you believe in. I am happy, I am healthy, I am well. Because you can say, for instance, I'm taking something silly, a
Mhm.
tomato and say, oh my God, you eat one tomato every day, I'm going to get fat. People do, I'm going to get fat. Why would you put that energy in that food?
Yes.
Because if you eat that tomato every day and you say, I'm going to get fat, you'll get fat. It's the same thing. People that eat chocolate cake and they're skinny, they're not worried about the chocolate cake, but we're like, oh my God, I'm going to gain weight. Well, you're going to gain weight because you put that energy towards the food. Do not put that towards the food.
So
Do you
good.
know that's why we say grace when we bless food? We have this thing of saying, because we're blessing the food that it nourishes our body. So why not when you eat that? You're allowed to have that. You worked out in the gym this week. Why would you put that energy towards it? I'm going to enjoy this and
Yes.
it's going to help keep me. I'm not saying 10 pounds of chips, but I'm going to enjoy this and I'm gonna feel nourished. Whatever it is you have to say, but don't put negative energy. It's the same with feeling worthy and unworthy.
Exactly.
If we only know and our parents only knew that between the ages of 0 to 7 affect children and
Crucial.
so much that it damages the words they say and the things they do can damage a human being, we wouldn't do it, you
Absolutely.
know? So
Absolutely.
I want everyone to know they are so worthy because they were born. You're part of this world.
Mhm.
Please know that you are loved because you were born. Know that you are special. I don't care who says what about you. It is not your business what somebody else thinks about you. I always say that. Worry about yourself. Worry about it and just know you are fantastic. You are fantabulous because you are living, you're alive, and serve each other. Give love. Forget about who said what. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
don't care. I'm a warrior. I'm a gladiator. I don't care. Move
Yes, you
on.
Yes, you are, and it's our birthright. Thank you so much for that, Lisa. This question comes up, and I need to ask. So, who was the most influential person in your life or business? why were they the most influential person, and what was like the number one lesson they taught you?
Oh, wow. Well, the person that comes to me right away, first of all, is my mom. And I say that because
Mm,
she's incredible. I mean, in 1960s to have twins at one time when she was on her medical career and have to stop to take care. She got married, beautiful wedding, of course, and the traditional, everything was traditional back then, right? She
yes.
fell in love. They got married, twins, meaning me and a brother. I'm one of the twins. And back then, they didn't have Pampers. They had cloth. They had to scrub everything. So to
Mm,
see her do that, and not just that, be able to build not one, two, three apartment buildings in the Caribbean while putting us through private school, paying for it. But I saw her do so many little things. Like I remember back then, bandanas were a big thing. While she was still in the hospital and doing her rounds at night, she was selling bandanas. Then she was selling this St. Michael's lingerie. People were coming to buy. Then I remember her selling chains and making her commission. Then she would go to bingo. Catholic school, we had bingo because you can get a less tuition if you work on the bingo nights. She was always going, and I'm
wow.
just like that. Actually, all three of us, the three children, we're like that, like 100%. My brother's on the radio, but he's the Heineken Synergy guide. He's the jazz festival for Curacao, jazz festival for Aruba, jazz festival for Miami. Like we all doing more than one thing, but we're serving and being, I have to say, gracious and humble. She taught us that. And we always went to church, we were, I think, decent kids, we were pretty good. Every parent thinks, their kids are probably the worst, but you know what? God gave us an adopted sister, and look how things happened. She thought we were the worst. This one came along another time, 30 years later, and she was like a rebel without a cause. She's smart. She's a police officer now and married and ready to have a baby. But the thing is, at that age, we were in our 30s, and my mom was re-having children, and we were like, ha, 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 ha. And back then they got the girls, they got their piercings and tattoo, and we never did this. So I was just smiling like you thought we were so bad. Like, now look, huh?
It's strange, right?
But she's the most influential for me because I've seen her really work hard. I have to say that. And she's a very young 82. And I'm not that she's only 23 years difference than me, but very young. And yeah, she's still full of life, her and my dad. But she'd probably be the one. And then I have one other relative that really, really was influential in my life in St. Martin. And she's a family member. And we never went, or I should say, I never went anywhere without her. To this day, we still talk. She's like one of my mentors. She's
Right.
amazing. She's amazing. She taught me things about life because I was getting older and I had moved to St. Martin when I was 25. And she was really my guide from 25 to now.
Wo-
Talk about life and things because I'm very sensitive and empathetic. I could be a Scorpio when ready. We're closed off but we're the crypt keepers of secrets. Everybody comes to us. But deep inside, I'm sensitive, even though I'm strong on the outside. And she told me, forget about that. Move on. You don't need to worry about that. She was always the one to impact me in my career and said, you go do that. You're going to be the first woman president. You go do. She was always by my side. This is the cousin. So I'm very grateful for her. She's an amazing mentor in my life. And I want to pass that on to women and children and men. I'm working with a guy now that saw me on stage a few weeks ago. And he called me and said, please, I do mentorships with people and said, please, I need you. And he said, I want to be who you are. Because I always ask people, what is the result you want from working with me? And he said to me, I want to be like you. How lovely is that?
Oh,
And yeah, it's really kind. He said, I want to work on my confidence. I want to work on my abundance. But he said, my main goal is I want to be like you on the stage with people. And I think that's amazing. I'm just telling my story
beautiful.
and telling it how it is because
Yeah.
we're all here to live a purpose and to serve. And let's not forget that and be authentic. Do what you like to do. The girl who does my nails, I'm grateful because I don't like to do nails, but she has a passion to do it. You
Absolutely.
see, everybody fits part of the puzzle in this universe. And
Yeah.
if you don't do your passion, you'll not be good. You will not feel good. And
Right.
forgive. Forgive. If I tell you one thing about myself, when I got divorced, my husband said, oh, let's be quiet because we'll do it quiet because you're a public figure. I said, okay, fine. But then someone advised him and he wanted half of everything that I have because in the Dutch law, we get a book and I put him on the marriage book, even though we got married in the US. It was a little stupid of me, but he wanted half of everything. And I hated, I really, not hated, but I disliked, and I was upset inside that it made my sacral area, my third chakra, grew into the tumor the size of a 7-month fetus. And I had to have an 8-hour surgery because I didn't forgive.
Ugh,
Yes. So I had to learn to let that go. You
absolutely.
understand?
Yes, yes, and I completely understand, Lisa. If we don't let go of this animosity, of this rage that builds up as a result of a divorce or a setback,
Yes.
these emotions, these bad feelings get hidden in our bodies, which
Yes.
become these psychosomatic illnesses, and eventually we get, like rheumatoid arthritis, or we have inflammation in our gut, however it
And people
wants to
don't know why. Yes. So I
exactly.
do cord cutting. I actually, with some of my clients that really need it, I
Yeah,
put them in a meditative state and do the cord cutting
yeah,
and pull the cords away, but then fill it with golden light so it doesn't affect it, but cut away from that person that they're having the trauma. And it's funny because it's a spiritual yet meditative state when they do this. And it's funny, it's just like, it's so healing because then they start to grow. Because, there's a lot of ancestral DNA that we do carry with us too
yeah,
from generations. So you need to
absolutely.
cut some of these things. And this is, again, limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
things from the past. And then some families wonder why there's cancer in every generation, because these are things that carry on from generation to generation. We need to cut those things. People don't realize it. Yeah.
Yes. Not only do we need to cut them the way you can show them how, but from literally and figuratively speaking, through, like you said, affirmations, or
Yes.
having an attitude of gratitude, having these rituals that really enable us to have that alignment. So, this forgiveness piece is such,
So big.
sometimes it's the most important person that I've realized we have to forgive, Lisa, that I didn't realize in the moment was ourselves,
I was going to say that. Congratulations. Forgive yourself. People
Yes.
don't. You need to,
And
that's the most important thing.
most important, and I realized I had to endure, like, my journey of, why was there resistance, why am I still feeling this way? It was because I wasn't forgiving myself for not seeing some of the things that have happened, or how I was, completely in shock of the things that were happening to me. There came a point where I had to realize I'm just a human being, just like anybody
Yes.
else.
Let go.
And
Let go.
yes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in that moment until I allowed myself to go, I'm a human being too, and I'm going to continue making mistakes. I just got to learn and move forward, that I was able to let go, Lisa. So I love
Yes.
how you bring up this beautiful piece of forgiveness. And, you being in Dubai, me here in San Diego, but having lived in Dubai for 4 years, you now living 14 years. One of the things that I realized, in coaching, because that's where I started coaching, Emirati women, expats. What an amazing experience. But we all bleed the same. We all have the same insecurities, right?
Yes.
So what are
Yes.
some common things you see in Dubai that, like, women entrepreneurs struggle with, that you could give them some piece of advice right now at this moment, because you're so accomplished, Lisa? Like, you are that woman that steps into that room and people are like, oh my
You're too
goodness.
kind. You're so kind.
Masita,
Um,
yes.
yeah, you're so kind. Listen, I want to start with preempt what you just said to that. In 2010, I wanted to do something to help women here feel inspired.
Mm,
And one of the things that I do, I put in 8 hours a week. It doesn't just come gloriously like that. Is I make sure that I exercise,
yes.
and I put in. I like cycling because my knees now, after years of tennis and running, and they wonder why athletes stop and start coaching, but your knees start to bother you because I have hips. So I'm not gonna joke. I'm not fat, but I'm not, model skinny. I'm just, the right size, I think, for a woman, the woman's body. But the thing is, I have to put in the work. And the older you get, the less estrogen your body has, the more you really have to work at it and watch everything. Anyway, all that is to say, the Dubai Women's Run for me, when the founder of the Dubai Marathon, and I sat down to talk, and he said, I want to do a women's run. And I said, yeah, I would like to do that to inspire women. I started with 600, and I'm now at 6,000 women that run. And the energy, that morning of the run, it takes me about 9 months to get this whole thing going, because it's everything from t-shirt sponsor, water marshals. You have to measure the road, get the police out, block the roads. It's a lot that goes on to get this going. So the thing is, in the morning, women start to come from 5:30 a.m. The kickoff is at 7, and the energy of 5,000, 6,000 women that early in the dark, walking to the start line. I actually just sit there now and tears come down my eyes. First of all, to know that I put that together, but to know that many women come out with no makeup and a ponytail just to run together. And I set up a creche, because there are women that want to come, but they have children. So I would say, bring nanny, bring daddy. And I have everything, balloons, face painting, so the kids can stay. I want the women to feel inspired and run together, because when you exercise, you release endorphins that make you just feel even better about yourself. And then I came up with the idea of the last one in. Who would ever think to have a prize for the last one in? And I remember one year when I had it at Maidan, this woman from Sharjah came in. She was quite overweight, and she was struggling, and she was coming in. And it was at the end of the time when the timekeeper said, okay, after this, we're going to, I said, no, he saw on his computer, there's one still out there. Let's wait for her. And she came in, and everybody clapping. I said, you won. She said, I won what? I'm last. She said, I said, you won a day in a spa just for you, because you are the last one in. And she cried, and she said, nobody ever gave me anything. And I have 4 children. And I said, well, the day's for you. And you tell me what day, we'll arrange for your children to get a babysitter. But this is a thing that you do. So I want to inspire women. And you're asking me about women in business. I always like to tell women, first of all, what's your idea? What do you want to do? In what way can you serve your community? What is your passion? What is your purpose? Because a lot of women say, I like this, but I have to do this. No, if you like something, do that, because you'll be the most successful at it. And you'll feel it, that it's easier to make money because you enjoy what you're doing. A lot of people do things because they feel they have to make the money. Sure, you can get your foot in the door, but still concentrate on what your purpose is, because if the thought is put in your mind, that means you're supposed to do it. It happens twice in life, once in your mind and once in reality. If you can hold it in your hand, you can certainly make it in reality. The Wright brothers, I always say, they had the idea of making a plane, and they said, we're going to make it a reality. You know what I mean? Yeah. So come on. I always tell women, you can do whatever you choose, because we are the nurturers of this universe. Get together with other women. Look for another group of women that is either like you, maybe moms, maybe entrepreneurs. Mentor each other. Listen, I'm a mentor. You're a mentor, a coach. You have people that you talk to that are your mentors. You talk to me. I talk to you. I think Oprah has 4 or 5. Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Always be around other women that can encourage you. As I said, if you're the smartest one in your group, it's time to get a new group.
Yes. I love that, Liesa. So such a beautiful wealth of information straight from your experience, from your heart. So my last question, if I may, Liesa, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And what is one step you're going to do to ensure that you achieve that? So like, say there's a woman listening to right now, she's got this goal, like where she wants to be 5 years from now. In your case, what's your where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And what would be your actionable step to ensure that you achieve that?
Okay, great. So that leads me to one thing I actually wanted to say tonight is,
Ooh.
If anyone that's listening to you has not done this, you need to do this. You need to sit down and make your 1 to 6 month plan. What do I want to do from month 1 to month 6? Get a journal, go to the dollar store, buy a notebook.
Yes.
Write it down, because when you write down things, it becomes reality. Write down year 2, where you want to be, year 3, year 4, year 5. I do it all the time. That's why I think I was able to serve on so many boards, because I always had a goal. What's my next goal? What's the next thing I want to do? not just for the community, but for me. I have no ego. So I know some people are leaders and some people are followers. I know I'm a leader because why? I show up on time, I
Mm,
follow through, and I get the work done. Bottom line. Went to
yes.
Catholic school, but I went to a Jewish university. So the Catholic school taught me discipline, but the Jewish university taught me you get up and get in there, because if you don't get in that seat, I'm taking it from you.
Ooh,
That's how the mentality, New York, get in there. This is how we were, or how we're trained. You know this because you had this, you can see, the culture, in other words. So for me, you ask me now, so I'm telling everyone, write down your plan. Do you go to a restaurant and not order from the menu? Right?
right.
Write down your menu of life. What do you want? You don't go to the restaurant and tell the guy you want a steak and you don't tell him how you want it. Write down what you want for your life. Write down the kind of house you want to live in, the kind of man you want for your life. Don't forget what I said. I am so happy and grateful now that I have a man that is loving, caring, humble, emotionally available, financially available. My mom always said, and I have to say it because I'm going to be straight. My mother always said to me, you can fall in love with the milkman next door or the lawyer down the street. Make up your mind.
Ah,
My
so
mother always said that to me. I'm talking straight, girls,
yeah, yeah, love it.
because listen, love don't pay the rent.
That's right. That's for
And my
sure.
mother always said, at least when you're angry, there's retail therapy. You know what
Yes, there is.
I mean? But okay, so about me, so I'm telling everybody, you must write down what you want. Write the menu of your life, script your life. You can go on YouTube and type in script your life, and there's people that teach you how to script, like it's a movie. Script your life how you want it,
Mm,
because it works. You're bringing that energy to yourself. So where do I want to be? I believe I have a lot to say, and I've always been talking. I've done more graduation commencement speeches than I think passages in the Bible. I love it. I've done it through my radio show. I love talking to people. I want to reach more people with more impact. Everyone that I've met, from Les Brown to Les Brown's daughter to his assistant, told me, Liesa, you got a book and you write the book.
yeah,
That's the book. The book needs to get written. And I
absolutely.
always said, Volume 1 is New York, Volume 2 is the Caribbean, and Volume 3 is Dubai. I need to tell my story because there's a lot of people that it will resonate with. I didn't have it easy, but I've learned to be smarter, okay, and appreciate me, and who I am, because we all have our story. I am no better than the next person, but I have a mouth, and I know how to get my point across. So I would like to reach more people, and I would like to have the book, and I want to travel and tell my story. That's what I want to do in the next 5 years.
I cannot wait for the book. I'm going to be one of
Yes.
the first ones to buy it. Liesa Euton, what an honor it was having you here today, Amiguita. You know how much I adore, love, and respect you. I hope to go back to Dubai next year. And I'm there. I'm definitely going to spend time with you, as I always do.
Yes.
But I really appreciate the golden nuggets you've given us today, the straight talk, the
Thank you.
actionable steps someone can take to achieve something in 5 years. You've broken it down in a way that can resonate with so many people, and it's easy to do. And one of the things I do, if it's not simple, if it's not easy, I don't do it. It has to be simple. And you have given us these strategies. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. How can the men and women, they're like, I gotta talk to Liesa. How can they connect with you, Liesa?
Very easy. It's my name, Liesa, Liesa, Euton, Euton, at Gmail. I made it easy for everybody. Or my website is liesaeuton.com. Liesa, the Dutch spelling, Euton.com. And I'm there. My website is there. I'm going to expand on that. And I want to start to focus on some people. I'm from the 60s, so, not that savvy with IT, but I'm getting there. But I want to focus more also on people that have overcome such circumstances in life. And I
Mm.
want to highlight these people more, sit down and have conversations. There's some beautiful places that have opened in Dubai, hubs, wellness centers. I want to sit there and do little conversations with people that have, against all odds, made it. And I want to be the light. And I think everybody should be the light for the next person. I want to be the light for a lot of people, and I want to give love. I think that's so important because the world would be such a different place.
Well, you have always been that, Lisa, since I met you, from doing that Dubai Women's Run and seeing you. Like, I'm like, what a sensational woman. And I get to call her my friend. Such a role model, such a gorgeous goddess that has given us the straight talk that we needed today. So thank you so much, Lisa. I can't wait to see you. And for our viewers, our ladies and gents, these high caliber entrepreneurs watching today, reach out to Liesa Euton, liesauton.com. You can reach out to me if you can't reach out to her for whatever. I can assist you with that, but reach out to her directly. Do it now. She is a wealth of information. One of my favorite goddesses role models. I love you, mujer. Habib.
Gracias, amor.
Ah,
I do mentorships with people. I'm available, and I just want to say thank you. You are the goddess, also. Truly, I'm so blessed to you even to think about me, to
of
have me on
course.
your program. So thank you so much.
I have that visual of when I did that run, and you just,
Thank you.
this role model for all of women, all walks of life. I'll never forget this. Yeah, I
Thank you.
carry you in my mind and my heart, and I will always learn from you because you're just such a sensational, incredible woman. So again, a complete honor having you here today. Ladies and gents, reach out to her. This concludes this amazing episode of Pull the Trigger, and reach out to Lisa and have an incredible day. Thank you.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radicals, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.